Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. If you're new, my name's Natalie. I am currently getting my master's in accounting at the University of North Texas, and I would just love if you hit that subscribe button and join the family, kind of see what this channel is all about and my journey through, I guess, my life, you can say. Today's video is gonna be pretty exciting. I haven't sat down and talked to you guys in a pretty long time, I guess you can say. I think my last one was my Q&A, which was probably a year ago. I don't know, but it's been a while. But anyways, today's video is going to be all about my accounting internship experience, specifically focusing in audit. And I'm going to be answering some of y'all's questions towards the very end of the video, so stay tuned for that. But if you guys want to hear all about my internship experience, I know this is probably going to be a lot helpful for those that are probably thinking about being an accounting major, or maybe trying to get an internship specifically in accounting, or whatever the case may be. I hope this helps those of you that maybe aren't an accounting major as well. So just, hope this helps you guys. But I'm going to talk about my experience. I have everything kind of written down on my phone, I guess you can say, as far as the talking points, and then the questions I'm going to be going to the YouTube community to answer those as well. So if you guys want to hear my experience and hear the questions you guys asked, don't forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and let's just jump right on in. Okay, really quickly, I have my fan on full blast and I have the washer going, so if you guys hear any extra noise, I apologize. It's literally 104 in Texas and it's just too hot. And also this cord goes to the TV up here, so I apologize for that, but I just really wanted to get good natural lighting, and I'm sitting in front of the two windows. So for the sake of my safety and I guess just privacy, I'm not going to say the name of the firm that I interned with or anything like that. But anyway, so we're just gonna start. I'm gonna start with how I got the internship and how long I interned for. So like I said, I go to the University of North Texas, and I'm not sure how other universities or colleges do this, but my college or university, I guess, whatever, they do career fairs, which basically means you have all these businesses and companies come to your school and they set up little stands and kind of promote their business and what they do, and they kind of recruit students on campus specifically for a part-time job, an internship, a full-time position, whatever the case is. And so I went to the career fair. I went at least twice, and I had met with I met with a lot of firms. And also you take your little suitcase kind of thing, you have your resume in there, you have a pen, whatever the case is, because you're going to be getting a bunch of business cards. You're going to be handing out your resumes to these companies and recruiters in hopes that you can go online, fill out an application, and secure a job that way, or an internship that way. And so it's really good as far as networking. You get to get out of your shell a little bit, especially for me. I'm a pretty big introvert, and so when I went to the career fairs, it was really hard for me to kind of get out of my shell. But I knew I needed to do this in order for me to work on my networking skills and for my future career, and just building my personality. And so it's a really good experience. You network, you meet a lot of different colleagues, you meet a lot of different companies, recruiters, so on and so forth. And so I went to the career fair, met up with a lot of different firms, and you really get to see which firm you like the most based on the culture of the firm. And so that was really important to me. So I looked for the culture of the firm and how well they actually talked to the students and connected with them, versus just kind of being there off to the side and just watching. And so that's how I got this internship. Sorry about that. So I met with a couple different firms, whatever. I found one that I really liked, so I went online, applied for the audit internship position for the spring, and I ended up getting, I think I applied for 4 or 5 different internships, and I actually got 3 offers. So I picked the one that I really wanted to intern with, and I wish I could say the firm, but I don't want to. It's too much of a private information to like throw out there, but they're a really great firm, you guys. They're so friendly, the culture is awesome, but I can't wait to like dive into this video. It's gonna be exciting. So yeah, that's how I got the internship. They offered me, you know, the position. I got an offer letter, yada yada, filled that out. And then how long I interned for was, so I started this year, so January 4th, and then I interned all the way until April 11th. So it was about like 3 months, 3.5 months, 4 months, I guess you could say. And then moving on to the pay, so we did get paid hourly. My accounting firm paid us $28 an hour at the time, so this past spring of 2022, that's what they were paying, was $28 an hour, so it's actually a pretty decent hourly wage. And then moving on to, I guess you can say like work equipment. I'm not sure how other different firms do this, but the accounting firm I interned at, they provided the equipment for us. So we got a laptop, we got a monitor, they gave us a backpack, they gave us headphones, a mouse, and I think that was it. So they provided all that for us. We got to keep the backpack. However, after the internship, we obviously had to turn in the laptop and the monitor as well as the mouse. And that was really nice. I thought, you know, having that equipment provided for us versus us having to go, you know, buy a laptop or buy this and buy that at the time. So I think most firms do that anyways, but that was a huge plus that they provided the equipment for us. And I still have my backpack with me. It's in the closet right now. I just don't want to show it because it has the company's name on it. And then as far as, I guess I'm gonna kind of go into when I first started, like the training that they provided for us. So like I said, I started January 4th, which was on a Wednesday. And so that day, I didn't just jump right into the office. I had training. So it was pretty much all of the locations. So there's a location in Houston, Fort Worth, Dallas, and a couple others. All of the locations met at the office. It was one office. It was at the Dallas location, and we were all there. We all went through the training together. You had different partners from different locations. You had senior audit, senior tax, you know, all of these people just coming together and helping the new people into the training. And so we had training Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so that's 3 days. And then I believe I had training again on the following Monday, and then after that I was basically in the office. And so with the training, they basically went through the software that we were using for our internship, which was called Engagement. And so that's where you would go into different binders of the clients that you had and kind of look into like different documents you would upload to Engagement. And then also they would go over different websites we would be using as far as maybe requesting documents from like a third party or from the client, different things like that. And then we had IT there. IT was helping us all set up our laptops, our passwords, emails. I mean, we had like they provided us a whole piece of paper just for different logins and emails and passwords that we had. I mean, the different amounts of accounts I had to log in, or different, I guess you could say, softwares I had to pull up on my laptop was, I kid you not, like probably a minimum of 7 different tabs I would have open. So that's what some of the training was. Also, they kind of walked us through like how to use Engagement and how to I guess maybe there were some examples where they would do like cash testing, or how you would maybe do a specific thing in engagement. I'm trying to think like what else. Oh, we went through a couple different examples on like how to do a tie-out on a financial statement, what the different like marks mean on a tie-out, you know, if you crossed out an item, like what that meant, like specifically on a financial statement. And then you would, you know, cross foot or foot the different numbers, make sure they tie correctly, things like that, like small things kind of to prep us for the office and kind of, you know, make it a little bit easier to transition into the office, because what we learn in school is a little bit different than how you would do it in the office. So school basically teaches you the basic foundation, you know, like assets plus liabilities equals equity, like stuff like that. And so it's a lot different when you're in the office, like trying to apply these different things. Also during the training days, we were provided lunch. So whether it was like tacos one day, so they provided actually breakfast and lunch for us, as well as coffee, which was great. So we would have an hour of like lunch, we would have 30 minutes of breakfast, whatever the case is. And then one of the days, I believe it was Wednesday or Thursday, we went into a separate room and we took our like headshots for the company's website for them to put our picture on. And then underneath our picture it would say like audit intern, or because there was a couple people in the training that were actually staff and not interns, so it was like a mix of different people. I'm going to talk about the dress code. So the dress code at my firm was actually pretty casual. We were allowed to wear jeans to the office, which was actually pretty nice, and then pretty much just business casual, so a cute blouse, jeans, and you know, some flats or whatever kind of shoe. We weren't allowed to wear like Nikes or tennis shoes or Converse, nothing like that. Obviously you want to look a little business casual, so jeans were allowed, a nice blouse, a blazer, whatever the case is. However, there were times where I had to wear like slacks or a nice blazer when I would go to the client's office. Depending on what the client dress code is like, we would kind of match that. And then I'm gonna move on to the work hours. I'm trying to fit as much as I can without the video being too long. Maybe I'll make a part 2 if I miss some things, but I'm trying to get in as much info as I can. So work hours, a typical work day for me was getting to the office at 9:30 and leaving about 5 o'clock. There were some days where I would stay till about 6 or 7 if my coworker like needed help with a tie-out or something. I would ask around to make sure like if anyone needed help before I just left for the day, and kind of, you know, left everyone there, because it was busy season. And so I tried to do what I could as an intern to help other people out. But typical day, I would get there around 9:30, leave around 5. And then you have the occasional days where I would leave around 6:30, maybe 7. Next thing I'm going to talk about is a typical work day at the office. Sorry, I'm looking at my phone because I have all my notes on here. It's a lot to talk about. So a typical day at the office, I think the first 2 weeks I started at the firm, they basically put everyone in a specific calendar or a specific audit team. And so there was the first 2 weeks I literally had open time, which means I wasn't assigned on a client or a team. I basically had open time, which just means open time. You can ask anyone in the office if they need help with something. You can, you know, help other audit teams, since I don't really have anything to work on. So the first 2 weeks I had open time. So what I would do is I would go into the office, put my lunch in the fridge. I took my lunch with me about 3 times a week, 2 to 3 times a week. I'll kind of go into that a little bit later, but so I would go into the office, plug in my laptop, and then in the office they have 2 monitors. So I would have my laptop and then 2 monitors, which was really nice. So it was basically like 3 screens, which is very, very nice if you're an accounting major or even a tax major. But so that was the first thing I did, plug in, you know, my mouse, my charger on my laptop, all of that stuff, basically set up my equipment. Then I would pull up all of the different software, so like engagement, the different things that I would need for the day basically, which was like 7 to 8 different types of tabs I would have pulled up. So I would do that, and then I would open up my email, check my email, see if there's anything important I need to respond to or fill out some type of document, whatever the case is. And then I would send out an open time email to all the locations, and I would basically say in the subject, open time, and then hit send. And then you would either hear back from someone and you would have a Zoom meeting with them, and they would kind of tell you, hey, I need you to do like cash testing for this client. Here are the bank recs. Here are the bank statements. There you go. Or some days, like, no one would respond until a couple hours later or like after lunch. And so if that happens, I would basically sit there and wait. But instead of doing that, it's not really good for me to be sitting there twiddling my thumbs and having a partner walk by and sitting, like, watching me sit there not doing anything. Like, that's not, you don't want to do that. So if you're waiting on someone to send you an email for something to work on, in the meantime, I would walk around. I kid you not. I would ask the people sitting next to me, hey, is there anything I can help you with? No? Okay. Hey, is there anything I can help you with? No. I would walk office to office. I would go ask the partners. I would go ask the managers. And 9 times out of 10, they would say, yes, I need you to do a tieout, or yes, I need you to do this accounts payable testing, or whatever it is. And so that's how I would kind of basically make myself busy if I don't have anything to work on. So that's how it was the first 2 weeks. After that, I had different clients I would work on. So after the first 2 weeks, I was assigned on a client for 40 hours, which would be a week. And I would have a senior on that audit team. I would have a manager, I would have a partner, and I would have a staff, and I would have a staff, senior, manager, partner, and then it would be me. And so I would basically report to the senior, and they would give me a list of things to do for that day or the week. And then after that, the next week I was assigned on another client. So some clients lasted 2 weeks, so that would be 80 hours, 40 hours a week. Some other clients I was on was only a week. But the nice thing is I had a new senior I had a new audit team every client I was assigned on, if that makes sense. So, but basically I was on a lot of one of the manager's teams. So like all of his clients, I kind of almost had the same manager like most of the time, but only because that's just like how, I don't even know how to explain it. That's basically how it was assigned. And so, but like it's weird to explain. So I had a different audit team like pretty much the whole internship experience, which is really nice because you get to connect with all these different people versus just having one audit team like the whole internship. I feel like I don't know. I feel like the experience with multiple audit teams was a lot better for me because not everyone does things the same. You learn different techniques, you learn different methods. Like, so I had a different senior, a different manager, a different partner I would like report to, which was really nice. I did work on a lot of tieouts for financial statements. So they called me the tieout queen at the office. I had a lot of the managers as well as a couple partners hand me like tieouts to do, and what that means is you basically look at, you know, any mistakes, if the spelling is wrong, if make sure the years are correct, make sure the numbers are correct. So I would have engagement open and I would have the specific financial statements I would look at. So I would make sure like the cash amount matches or ties to the cash amount over here, make sure like it crossfits and just looks like presentable and accurate. And then I would also look at like the titles, make sure like the information in the paragraphs are correct and all of that. So I did a lot of tieouts. I also did a lot of cash testing for banks. So I worked on a lot of banks. I did some oil and gas, and then I did a little bit of healthcare. Banks are really confusing to work on, because it's kind of the opposite. For those of you that know, I did enjoy oil and gas. However, it was difficult. Healthcare was okay. I don't know if it was my favorite. But you get to work on a lot of different industries as well, which is what I enjoyed versus just working on one industry. I also did a lot of confirmation. So I would send a confirmation document to third parties and verify the amount for like the client, and then they would email me back. I would add that confirmation and upload it to engagement, and then I would kind of tie the amounts to the corresponding spreadsheet. It's hard to explain. You have to like see it in order to understand it. I am going to talk about the client's office. So I only went to 2 or 3 clients' location, but they were local. So I did not have to like get on a plane and fly somewhere and book a hotel and pack or anything like that. I didn't have much of a high travel versus my friend. He traveled pretty much the whole internship. I mean, he went to New Orleans, he went to like a lot of different places. He was gone pretty much most of the internship versus me. I was in the office a lot. They were local clients that I would go with my senior, and then maybe like one of the other days the manager and partner would meet us there. And so that was a cool experience. I will say though, sometimes like when I first walked into the client's office, it felt kind of awkward because they all stare at you, and basically it kind of makes you feel like they don't want you there, which makes sense, because like why would someone want an auditor there looking at all their stuff, making sure they're doing everything properly? I mean, it makes sense, you know. But most of them were nice. They were good to work with. I didn't really have any bad experiences as far as like client location or anything. And then another thing I want to talk about is like kind of events, happy hours, lunch breaks, things like that. So the firm had a lot of internship events for the interns. Like one night we went to this really cool, I forgot the name of it. I'm literally like blanking as I'm talking right now. Oh, no, pinstripe? No. I don't remember the name of it, but it was basically like a bowling alley as well as like arcade games and all of this fun stuff, kind of like a main event, honestly. And we went there one night and they basically pay for everything, and then you basically just go and have fun. So like be social with the partners and managers, you know, whoever goes. And obviously if you're old enough, you're able to get a drink. They pay for everything, so all you have to do is just go and have fun. So we went to that event. So we did bowling, we played some arcade games, had some drinks, had some good food, and it was really fun being able to bowl with, you know, the managers and partners that were there, or go kind of challenge each other on Mario Kart. Like I had me, my coworker, and then a manager. All 3 of us played Mario Kart, and it was really fun being able to do things like that outside of the office. And so there was also another event that we did where we went to a really nice restaurant and had some really nice dinner. It was like a 3 or 4 course dinner, and obviously had a couple drinks. Just basically go and have like networking, social, and just enjoy the time that you have with other interns, with other managers, and not talk about work. So there was that, things like that they had scheduled for us. There was also happy hours after work where we would walk over to the closest bar, and one of the partners would basically pay for it. Like basically what happens is the firm itself pays for everything. All you have to do is go show up, have fun. And so there was a lot of happy hours that I went to. It was really nice just having like a drink and talk about fun stuff. And also like lunch breaks was really fun too for the days that I didn't bring my lunch. Basically what happens is you're sitting in the office like working, and then once 11:30 or 12 o'clock hits, you literally hear someone stand up and be like, hey, I'm going over to the lunch hall. Does anyone want to go with me? And like 6 of us get up and go with them to the lunch hall. Or what happens is a partner will take the audit team out to a restaurant and have like a team lunch. So I've had a couple of those. I've also had a couple of experiences where there have been other interns that are like touring the office for the following spring. And I've met those interns, and one of the managers who I actually got along really well with asked me to join them so that way I can share my intern experience with the future possible interns. So that was really fun to do as well. And there's just a lot of fun events and happy hours and things like that that were occurring during my experience, which I'm thankful for, to build those relationships and networks and all of that stuff. There was also some times where throughout the day, like after lunch, you know, you're kind of starting to feel sluggish and tired and whatnot. We had a Starbucks reserve where we were at, and so a lot of the times, you know, someone would say, hey, does anyone want to go get a coffee? And we would walk over to Starbucks midday, grab a coffee, come back and get right back to it. It's really important to have small breaks like that throughout the day. Like even if it's a 10-minute, you know, small break to go get a coffee, or to go like at least go walk a lap and come back into the office is really important. I had to do that not all the time, but kind of frequently. But also the office that I was in was freezing cold. I kid you not, during the winter I had on a short sleeve shirt, a long sleeve, and a turtleneck, and my jacket with boots and jeans, and I was still freezing cold. And so being able to like go walk the hall and take a break and, you know, try and warm up was really important to do, to kind of just like take a break and get your mind off of it. Also to kind of take a break for your eyes since you're staring at the screen for so long. The last thing I want to talk about for this video is mistakes and learning. I found out that making a mistake is okay. Like, we're interns and they know we are not perfect. Like, we're not a partner, we're not a manager, we're not a senior, we're not perfect. We're an intern going over there to gain experience, to gain knowledge, to make mistakes, and to learn how to like build from those mistakes, if that makes sense. And they really, at least where I was interned, where I interned at, they really made you feel like it's okay to make a mistake, but like make sure you learn from it. I also, one thing I did was I had like a huge notebook and I would take a bunch of notes down. And so whatever, like, I feel like I'm going off topic. Let me finish the mistake and learning stuff. So what I'm trying to say is it's okay to make a mistake. You're there to learn, you're there to gain experience, and they know that. Not every firm is the same. I can't speak for other firms, I can only speak for my firm. They know you're an intern, like you don't know squat when you're there, basically, is how you feel, and it's okay to feel that way, and you're gonna feel that way, but you have to make the best of it while you're there. Like, take as many notes as you can, learn as much as you can, and know that it's okay to make a mistake. They're gonna show you how to fix a mistake. You're basically like, what they told me is, we're accountants, we're not here to save lives. And so we would basically say that to each other all the time and joke around about it. Another thing I want to talk about really quickly is my notebook that I had. I basically wrote down everything I possibly could. So whenever I would go to my senior and they would give me a list of things to do, I would use that notebook to write down the list of things that they requested of me to do. And then as I would finish each task, I would cross it off, kind of like a to-do list. If there was something that I didn't quite understand or know how to do, when I would go talk to a manager, they would, you know, telling me how to do it step by step, and I would write down those steps on that notebook. So that notebook was literally my handy dandy notebook. I wrote down everything on that. So I recommend you do that. Make sure you write things down, because it does get frustrating for the staff or senior manager, whoever it is you're talking to, for them to repeat themselves multiple times, because that wastes their time and it wastes your time. So make sure you write down things. It's really important. And also, 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to be working on that same task a week or 2 or a month later on. So if you write down those instructions now, you can refer back to it later on and be like, oh, cash testing, like what's the first thing I need to do? Oh, I need to download the bank recs and bank statements, like things like that. So I highly recommend that. And I'm getting out of breath, and also I hit every topic on here. I'm going to kind of work on the one question I got was, how did I get it and what was required? So I already talked about that. There was nothing really required for my internship position. It was basically whether or not they thought I could fit into the position. And so that was it. I just handed them my resume and then took it from there. Obviously I had an interview with them. And then someone asked, was my internship paid or unpaid? It was paid. I already answered that question in the beginning. Someone said, what are your job options after finishing your degree and internship? So I did get a full-time offer the last day of my internship. So I will be starting next year. So I graduate this December. However, I did work out with the firm. So I will be starting, normally a lot of firms actually don't do this at all, but you either start full-time the next January or this next September after you graduate. However, I'm trying to get my CPA exam, and so I worked out a deal with the recruiter, and she had to kind of pull some strings a little bit, but I will be working with the oil and gas company time in January while I'm getting my CPA exam, and then start full-time in September. How did I balance having an internship and graduate school? So during my internship, I did not have classes, and that's how my program works at my university. Basically, you have your internship. Right after your internship, I had my 2 compressed classes, and then my 3 summer classes, and then now I will be having my 2 classes in the fall, and then I will be graduated after that. So I hope that answers that question. I didn't have homework or exams or anything during my internship. It was strictly my internship. After my last day of my internship, I had like a week break, and then I started my compressed classes. The last question is, what were my day-to-day job duties as an intern? So I basically already answered that in the video, but if you guys want me to do a part 2, or if there's anything that I missed, let me know in the comments down below, and I will love to do a part 2 of this video. But I've been talking for so long, I'm out of breath, and this video it's gonna be long. So I hope you guys enjoyed this experience. I hope it helped you in any way, and if you have an interview or if you're trying to get an internship, good luck. And I hope this helps you, and I will see you guys in my next video. Subscribe, give this video a thumbs up. I'll talk to you guys later.